Mom died, can't find the will she made, stepdad says too bad so sad. Wilson County TN. I spoke to my mom a few weeks ago and she asked my social security number to add me and accounts and complete her will. It was her wish that I get her share of the real estate and her art collection. She died unexpectedly a week later. She has over $1 million in property and real estate that she owned before she married her husband, but it's in both names now. Her husband says he doesn't know about a will and can't find one, so he's selling the house and taking everything when he moves to be near his kids. He said one day he may include me in his will, but for now I get nothing. Am I just out of luck and out of an inheritance? Your stepdad does not inherit everything under the intestacy laws of your state. Get a copy of the most recently filed deeds to all real estate she had an interest in, and immediately go find a probate lawyer in the county she resided in. In Tennessee, children inherit along with the spouse. Of course, houses can be held in a trust or pass outside of probate, etc., so he's most likely incorrect. As someone else mentioned, file for an administration. You could try to do some research and figure out which lawyer she was using. Mom calls to add kid to will. Mom dies a week later, no will to be found. Stepfather claims all property. This sounds like an Agatha Christie setup. I would call around to the local county or town where she lived in case a copy of the will was filed with them. Call and check with local attorneys and see if she had maybe used their services. Check with her bank to see if there is a safe deposit box. Died unexpectedly and she was in the process of making a will. A lot of lawyers keep at least a copy of all clients' wills. We keep the originals. She asked to add your info to a will 3 weeks ago, then died unexpectedly 2 weeks later. If she mentioned adding you to accounts, it might be she made you a direct beneficiary on life insurance, bank accounts, investment accounts or IRA accounts. Your probate lawyer will be able to help you with that. Make sure the lawyer lets stepdad know he can't take everything until probate is over. My guess is he knows exactly what trash can he put the will in after she died. Did your mother have any local, close friends? Any other relatives she may have mentioned the fact she was drafting a will? Contact them. They may know its location or who was helping her, or if she had a safety deposit box. Well, if it was still in the house, and he happened to know about it, regardless of what the law says, it's likely gone based on his replies. However, if it was filed, it should be with the county records. I would call every single probate lawyer you can find in a 50-mile radius and ask about it. Is it just me, or does it seem suspicious that she died unexpectedly a week after saying she wanted to change her will? Was it under suspicious circumstances? Hire a probate lawyer. If she died without a will, you can contest and have assets divided. If she recently signed a will, she probably consulted a lawyer. If so, there is probably some record of paying that person, like a credit card or checking account transaction, or maybe an appointment on her calendar. Talk to a lawyer of your own about how to investigate this. The lawyer who made the will should have the original, she just had a copy. Go see a lawyer. Your stepdad is wrong. If a spouse dies without a will, there is a share for children. Most likely, your mom had this drawn up by an attorney. His office would have retained a copy for their records. Also, there is a good chance there are public documents filed that may show they were filed by a law office. Contact a probate attorney ASAP. In many states, if there's no will, a child of the decedent is a legal heir. The spouse gets half, and the children divide the rest equally. Died unexpectedly a week after finalizing the details of her will. Are you sure foul play is not involved? He seems like he's in a hell of a hurry to get out of Dodge. Try to contact the lawyer she created it with, they probably retain a copy. Am I the only one that finds it really strange that she urgently wanted OP on her will and then unexpectedly dies and the stepdad becomes a greedy R immediately? How did she pass? Was it something he could have attributed to? Just really odd that she suddenly dies after stressing that she wants you in her will. Probate the estate. If someone else knows the existence of the will, they can testify on your behalf. Otherwise, at least let the judge decide in a dependent administration. Don't let him sell the house. The judge can put an injunction on any sale. Now hold on, she was about to update her will when she dies suddenly, and now her husband gets everything and knows nothing about a will? Does this not raise every red flag in existence for you? Get an autopsy done as well. I know that life isn't a movie, but the timing is odd. If the property is in both names, there's a chance it won't matter what the will says. Find out if it was in their name as tenants in common or as joint tenants or as tenants by the entirety. If it's either of the last two, the will won't matter, it all automatically vested in him the moment she died. After you find that out, figure out if she had an attorney prepare the will. They'll normally keep an original copy on file. If the property didn't automatically vest in him, you'll be entitled to a share anyway under the intestate succession laws. You need to go to probate court. You have every right to an inheritance, even if they're married. Call the local bar association and they can send an email to the lawyers seeking the lost will. Consult a lawyer. I believe in my state, if I were to die without a will, only half would go to a spouse, the other half to my parents, no kids. A lawyer would also be able to do some research to see if a will was filed in any way. Good luck and my condolences on the passing of your mother. Since you're contacting people, how about the local law enforcement and coroner and ask if they can review the autopsy for foul play. This is so sus, maybe some heat coming down on this grifter might straighten his conscience out. Sorry for your loss and act now, do not wait. You've already got a lot of good replies, but I want to add. Now. But Putnam County, TN, and went through this with my dad's estate recently. You need a probate attorney ASAP. It may cost a bit for a retainer, mine was $3,000, but that wound up covering all costs. It will be well worth it to you financially and emotionally in the end. Do it now before stepdad offloads any assets that are rightfully yours. I'm not a lawyer. You need a lawyer. What were the circumstances of your mother's death? If you don't mind me asking. Because a change in will usually follows a change of heart. Call a lawyer and file a motion in probate court immediately. Probate court will freeze her assets until a determination is made. I'm sorry she passed away, but I think you are going to need a very good and expensive lawyer to fight it. The odds are definitely not in your favor unless you can produce copies of the will. You are also going to need time and money to fight. Most attorneys require a retainer unless they think they can definitely win your case. My guess is that you will struggle finding one in the current climate. Why can't you go to him in truce and perhaps work out a deal to see if he will give you some of her things? I'm very sorry for your loss and that you must deal with this right now. Get your own attorney right away and file something that will prevent your stepdad from removing anything of your mom's. If you can get her phone, there should be a lawyer in there that she's dealt with. I'm editing as I just saw your reply to another post that his name is on the house. Most clerks of court have a repository for wills. Check with them along with the attorney she may have used in drafting. Even if you can't find a signed copy, the attorney may verify that it was in existence and witnessed, which is important ammunition to stop your stepfather from selling off possessions. Get a lawyer now. Her lawyer will most likely have a copy. No will? That's what probate court is for. If she had any investment accounts and named you as a primary beneficiary, the financial company must follow that designation when distributing the funds out if that account. These are FINRA regulations. It doesn't matter what a court or a will says. Her lawyer should have copies of her will or trust. I am probably way out in left field, but could stepfather have contributed to your mom's passing? It just seems very coincidental that she's making her will with you getting everything, she passes and now the will cannot be found. And stepdad thinks he's going to take everything.